Hello, hello. What is up? What is good? We got a new chapter of One Piece. This is 1164 with one of the most intriguing titles I think is possible at this point. God Valley Battle Royale. That says it all right there. The Battle Royale era in video games may be on the decline. I think only really Fortnite and PUBG Mobile are going super strong at this point. Nobody's making a million rip-offs of those these days. But regardless, we have now entered the Battle Royale phase of One Piece. We have so many different, extremely powerful characters running around God Valley. Like I said, there is a kind of finite list of outcomes that we know are going to happen by the end of this arc, or whatever you want to call it. We've been checking those off at a pretty decent pace. So I'm not, thinking that this is going to last as long as the Whitebeard War. I also don't think that this is going to have as many twists and turns as the Whitebeard War, because that, of course, had so many characters kind of show up midway through, whereas here, our entire cast has been assembled right at the start. But I do think there's still a lot of ground to cover, and I'm kind of hoping that this chapter, as the title promises, is just battles, is just like crazy shit happening, getting to see all these awesome characters in action, learning a little bit more about the ones that we don't know, and getting to see the full power of the ones that we do know. Since Garp and Roger and Rox and Whitebeard are all in their primes. Very, very exciting stuff. And also, it is, apparently, the final volume of Yamato's journey across Odin in the cover pages. I did get the feeling that this was ending Journey Across Wano. I did get the feeling that this was ending soon. He had made kind of like a full loop. And I'm excited to see what's next for the character. I really like Yamato. It was a fun cover story arc. It's fun to see all these places, all these characters again. But now I think his intent is to head out to sea, again in parallel of Odin. So Odin, of course, linked up with the Roger Pirates. Unclear what Yamato will do equivalently, because he hung out with the Straw Hats for a while. Star Hats. So in parallel, this means that he would then be going on a longer journey with the Straw Hats. But I don't think that's going to happen right away. Like, logistically, how could it? They're way the F over in Elbaf now. So I think he'll link up with some other pirate crew of note that maybe is off our radar right now, but will come back into the story, and then, surprise, surprise, they're also bringing along violent, undeniable, stowaway Yamato, something like that. So that could be a lot of fun, because alongside Yamato, will journey perhaps several secrets of Wano that he may have picked up during his travels. There are still so many mysteries that lurk within Wano. The sleeping ancient weapon, the role of the Kozuki clan in the Void Century, their creation of the poneglyphs. All of these things can now kind of be bound up in this pseudo-emissary of Wano that Yamato may become. And also with him, the promise of the open Wano, that Wano is not a seclusionist country anymore. He kind of represents that. And so it may be that other people tag along with Yamato as well. I think is definitely possible. But for now, I think he'll be kind of like a Vivi type character. Somebody that's kind of lurking in the background of plots, having his own adventure. Just like Vivi, of course, is in the middle of a pretty crazy adventure right now. Probably never not the sole focus of something, but some significant factor that will contribute to later big-scale arcs. But now let's rewind all the way back to decades and decades before this on God Valley. See what's going on. Okay. Rox and Garling are fighting in the northwest. Here we have our helpful little map. Rox, of course, ran around trying to avoid all the other fights, just trying to find his son and wife immediately. Raleigh, of course, managed to rescue Shaki. Take out Raleigh and steal Shaggy from him. They're crazy. They're crazy. Just let her go back to the bar. Then things will be the way you like it. Doesn't have to be you. Yeah. So now we're seeing allegiance between the Rocks Pirates and the Roger Pirates, who of course were bitter enemies, somewhat because of Shaggy. I like that Shiki is flexing his legs, because in the movie, of course, he doesn't have his legs anymore. He has sword legs. Switch targets of the treasure. We're taking everything but Shaggy. Okay, so this is now the Rocks Pirates prerogative. Shaggy, of course, and Bliss. Shaggy, there's something I need to say to you. Don't say it. I already know. Is he finally returning her feelings? Okay. Meanwhile, the special rabbits, Ivakanov and young Kuma, able to get their hands on these devil fruits. This is the genesis of the Revolutionary Army we are seeing before our eyes. I don't know, are they going to link up with Dragon during this whole God Valley madness too? I think probably not, because we know what happens to them like immediately after this. Whoa, Big Mom jumps in. Eat it, Kuma, don't think. And save yourself. We just need one survivor and then we've won. Cool attitude. Eva's so awesome. So I think we know that Big Mom gives the fruit to Kaido, the dragon fruit. Is this the one that Eva is like 1 second away from eating? Can you imagine if the Revolutionary Army had dragon and a dragon, and it was the Eva dragon that's like extremely flamboyant and over the top and a crazy gender fluid Rocky Horror Show homage, but also like a giant dragon? That feels like an SBS question in the making. Because I think, yeah, look, it has like those scales all over it. I think that is actually the dragon fruit. That's insane. Chaos is unfolding everywhere. The pirates are fighting one another. Should we retreat or arrest them? Yes, all the pirate crews also after the same treasure. Lots of cool designs here. Need orders. Whoa. Sengoku, did you know this was going on? It's a man who reported some rumors, but he vanished from the Navy's rank. If I ain't awake and dreaming, then it's all real. So yeah, it seems like there was like a very narrow constituency of Marines looped into this operation as, you know, manpower. Dragon, of course, was here and feeling totally disillusioned and upset. But it seems like most of the Marine higher-ups were kept out of the loop of the very existence of this thing, let alone working guard detail for it, because I think they would recognize that, you know, people like Garp are going to object to this and are going to be strong enough to do something significant if they object to it and want to start it, or want to stop it. Everyone who got chased down, transformed like that. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is freaky, man. So there's Blackbeard's mom and baby little Blackbeard poking out, running away from devilified people. So clearly Emu is here in some form or another. And this is kind of interesting because this gives us some clues as to how the fight might unfold in Elbaf. Because right now, the situation in Elbaf is like insanely dire. Like, unless Othello theory is true, and that Luffy Nika can flip the pieces back over, which I think is quite likely. But even then, it's an uphill battle. And here, it's kind of like, well, we don't even have Nika. How the heck are we supposed to fight these devilified people that are immortal and super strong and evil and whatever? Plus whatever vestige of Imu is here. I don't know if she's, again, possessing Gunko or something like that. Or possessing someone else. Or is just actually herself here, which would be insane. That seems unlikely. But it seems like this what we've seen just on this page should just be like GG Nori for everybody else on the island, right? Like, this is basically a Buster Call level situation where to say, oh, like, Roger sails away from here unscathed, Garp, it becomes the hero of the Marines, whatever. None of that feels likely right now because this is just like an apocalyptic threat that we really have no countermeasure against that I see on the island. So there must be something that's going to be revealed here that's pertinent for the present battle, I think. Some way of undoing this. Garling clearly getting owned in this fight. Slowly regenerating a massive head wound. Now we know he's one of the Davy clan. The Great One will be delighted if we can take him out. The game is ruined, but this is a stroke of luck. Anyone with the Davy name who gets caught will be put through agony that seems like hell itself. Makes hell itself seem like a lukewarm bath. I'm part of the Davy clan too. They welcomed me among them even though I was a pirate. Whoa. Look at these shots of the Davy clan members. Fascinating, fascinating. I understand the fate of the clan, so let me down. That's the kind of helpless woman who could only cling to you and couldn't protect a single child. You wouldn't have fallen in love with me, would you? Ah, she's so cool! little baby Blackbeard. Ah, he's so cute! How did he turn into such a scumbag? If it looks like they're gonna catch me, I'll kill, teach, and end my own life. Let's find a way to survive, and we can meet again on Lulusia. Bro, Lulusia, no! It gets nuked off the map, too, even if she survives. I don't think she's alive now. Dang, Lulusia. That's where Ace was at one point, and then Sabo washed up there. Okay. They square off again. He still doesn't know the secret to beating regeneration. But he's at least able to fight them off and make them spend energy regenerating. A massive swing. We can see the slash tear through the island. Come and do your worst, you monsters. That's only 9 pages. That whole climactic moment is just half the chapter. Should just do just fine. Aha! And here we see the fate of the fish fruit, which of course is the dragon fruit. I have no idea how she figured that out. That happened off screen. I don't know if she has like a book or like what the hell she did. Maybe somehow her powers, she like ensouled it and then it went, and the fish fruit. I don't know. She figured something out. But then, of course, Kaido jumps in to take it. Man, imagine Katakuri gets the fish fruit, the dragon fruit, instead of the mochi fruit. That'd be pretty funny, too. You would be badass as hell, man. I think you'd be the new captain before long. Big Mom could kick back and relax. Fruit goes flying. He yoinks it. Kaido gets we're gonna see Draconic Kaido in his young prime. I love this shot of him goofily greebling it. The juices and bits flying as he munches it down with a shit-eating grin, and they apparently do taste terrible. Meanwhile, Dragon, Parallel Lives, the two survivor childs of God Valley, fated to meet once again. Blackbeard, of course, giving Shanks his iconic scar across his face. Okay, this is where the lesser treasure, you know, the not dragon fruit, not Shaki treasure. Just a bounty of gold and stuff. There's even some dragon fruit. Oh, some devil fruit. Okay, yeah. So what is justice on an island where everything's going crazy? Okay. The world government's navy, please rescue us. God Valley is unaffiliated with the government, therefore... So here we see Emu using some sort of psychic communication with Saturn to ask if Rox is dead. Could not say. This is also unexpected. It's a danger that such wanton destruction might bring about the birth of something entirely new. This is... Oh. So this is kind of interesting, because it feels like with Luffy's voyage, there's been several moments like this, where chaos and destruction and this grand melee of all these different powerful forces. Luffy emerges up and out, like at Wano, as this something new, this new beacon of future progress and light and hope. And I think here we're seeing kind of like a parallel where such a moment could have taken place. I don't know what the analogous character to Luffy would it be. Maybe it is Rox. Brings forth a new era by presiding over this moment of intense destruction where everything else falls away. But I think here is going to be the example where it is successfully nipped in the bud, where we do not see that new era bloom, and instead God Valley is a dead end, rather than Wano, where it is the start of this new emperor, you know? That must not happen. Okay, Kuma running around, saving everybody. He sends them flying off. Kuma, the hero, with his newfound pawpaw fruit powers. They say when you eat the devil fruit, it kind of teaches you how it works to greater or lesser extent, right? Otherwise, I'm like, he figured out how to send those people flying insane distances very, very carefully, very, very quickly. Alright. They're all sensing Saturn making his move. We can see him transforming here in a brief off-screen panel. These are surely the big three. I mean, Garling is probably really strong too, but it seems like Rox is kind of owning Garling outside of his ability to just keep regenerating. So these, I think, are our strongest warriors right now. Roger and Garp and Rox. But now Saturn, of course, is an extremely powerful threat. It's kind of interesting that Saturn gets some hype moments in Aura when he already lost and died in the future. But this is... I would say, oh, he's in his prime now. But it looks like he hasn't aged a day. I think that is some quality of being in the Gorosei, is that you stop aging. You're immortal now. But yeah, he already got his butt kicked on Egghead. I mean, he didn't lose definitively there, but because of his failure, he was demoted. It was a draw, sort of. There's nothing in it for you. You sure you want to help? Don't worry about it. I've been drinking on your tab this whole time. Finally got my own power to use. I want to test out my new strength. As far as I can tell, you're having the most fun of anyone right now. So here's the big three currently of the Rocks Pirates. Big Mom, of course, also on this tier, but I think hasn't gotten as strong as she is in the present. Whereas these guys, I think, are all in their primes. Looking badass as hell. Can I ask what in the world that is? Hoo 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 hoo. Now I know I'm dreaming. What is this island? What is that you say? I have to call it anything that represents the world! Because, yeah, Rox has already made contact with Emu directly. Rox kind of understands what he's looking at here. Although he's probably in disbelief that such a thing could exist. What grand days of adventure we live in. I still have so much to learn. Roger, of course. I guess Roger and Garp probably aren't in their primes yet. I think they're maybe still a little too young to be in their primes. I don't know. But there is Emu now possessing the body of Saint Saturn in his full demonic spider form. This shit's crazy, dude. All right. Now we're going to have a big showdown where we already kind of know what happens. And I gotta say, right now, it kind of feels like Roger and Garp are big pieces of shit. Right? Because what we know, or at least what we have been told, happens here, is that Roger and Garp team up to beat Rox. But it seems like right now, everybody should be fighting Saint Saturn, including Garp. Like, I think this should be a crisis of faith that Garp overcomes by beating the shit out of Saint Saturn. But I think what's going to happen is maybe that Saint Saturn takes all of them out, and that, you know, Roger and Garp beat a hasty retreat. The Rocks Pirates split up. Rox fights till the end. Dies heroically, putting his life on the line so that some vestige of the pirates can escape from God Valley, where clearly now they just want to annihilate everybody and close the book on this. I think, and then it's going to be ascribed to Rox. Or, sorry, ascribed to Garp that Rox was defeated. When that's not really the case. Something like that? I don't know. I don't know. It actually has become quite mysterious, the fate of God Valley. Because it seems, you know, like everybody's at each other's throats, but I don't know. Like, I think it's becoming more and more like everybody is going to try to stop the rampaging emu, which is definitely not the story we were told about this place. Yeah, crazy stuff. Pretty Kino chapter. Let's look forward to the next. I'm really enjoying this God Valley fight at the summit. It is quite similar to the Whitebeard War in a lot of ways. I don't know if I'm enjoying it quite as much as that. I think just the fact that we kind of already know so much stuff, whereas there, you know, there would be chapters where it's like, and then boom, Marco the Phoenix, boom, Little Oars Jr., you know? There's just so many characters that we didn't even know about, that we had only kind of seen lurking in the background of shots, like Marco. It hasn't really had that factor here. And it's also just a little more chaotic in general. Like, the Whitebeard War was nice and clean in that it really was just two oppositional forces. Here it's a grand melee where it's not so kind of lined up for us, and geographically it makes a little less sense. But I think that chaotic energy certainly has its own charm too, so it's not like it's strictly inferior or anything. And we're just getting warmed up, it seems. I think the craziest madness of this God Valley arc is still to come. Okay. Good stuff. Let's look forward to next week's chapter. See you then.